Hey guys, it's Kyle down here at Lunicycle. Today I'm going to show you how to replace a brake hose on either the Talaria or the Surron bike. Now on the Talaria bike, you do have two different hose options. If your brakes look like this and they have black calipers, you need a 5.5 millimeter Tektro hose. We'll put a link in the description where you can get a nice replacement hose. If you have any of the Surrons or any of the red caliper Talarias, you need the 5 mil brake hose, which is the Shimano style. Now I had the perfect opportunity. A customer dropped off this bike and it has a pinched hose right here. You can see it's all kinked and ruined. This is the 5.5 Tektro style. So I'm going to show you how to replace the hose, which on this bike I'm just going to trim this and install new fittings and reattach it to the lever. If you're buying a new hose, it's going to come with none of the fittings on it, so you would just measure this against your old hose, cut it to the proper length, install the fittings, and then we put a link in the description where you can watch a proper bleed video. So if you're replacing the entire hose, you do want to make sure it's the proper length before you cut it. You do need to cut these very straight, so grab a block of wood and use a razor blade, or today I'm going to use the proper hose cutting tool. So in order to repair this, I'm going to remove this hose from the lever. I'm going to trim this, put the proper fitting on it, and reseal it to the master cylinder lever. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull this little cover back, and then I'm going to grab an 8 millimeter open end wrench and unthread this. Okay, once you've got the hose removed, it's time to trim off the damaged piece. Now if you're doing a hose replacement, I would go ahead and attach this to the caliper, which is going to be the exact same steps as attaching it to the lever. So here I do have a proper hose cutting tool. This is going to cut it nice and straight. Again, that's very important to get a nice clean cut. You can see we have a cut here that's nice and straight. Now with all of the kits, you're going to get some replacement barb and olive fittings. You'll also get a fresh little cover. So as you can see here, we have the Tektro style barb and the Tektro olive. Now there are plenty of special tools for inserting this little barb into the hose. If you're really determined, you can force it all the way in with your thumb. Let me see if I can get this one all the way in. So you see there is still a small little gap. You want this all the way in. So you can either tap this with a hammer, or we'll put a link where you can buy the special little tools. There are some very affordable ones, but this is a fancy Shimano one that we have here today. And this is just going to hold the hose while it pushes that little barb into place. Alright, so once you have the barb inserted, then all of these kits will come with a new little cover. That'll go onto the hose first. Again, you'll only have a cover up on the lever. You won't have one of these down at the caliper. Next, you'll either reuse your old bolt, which attaches this hose, or lots of these kits do come with a new one. Then you will have this brass olive, is what this is called, on the Tektro or the black brake calipers. This is tapered and directional. So you can see this gets thicker at this end and then it tapers down thin at this end. This needs to get inserted in this direction. So you go ahead and insert this into the lever. Go ahead and put the little brass part in. So when you tighten this down, this is going to crush and create a nice little seal, which will keep any of the fluid from leaking out. Go ahead and thread it in as far as you can by hand, and then grab your wrench, and you will feel, as you tighten it, you'll feel that brass piece kind of settle in. That's you crushing it and making a nice little seal. So you don't need to go crazy tight, but you will kind of feel this settle. Just right about there. You can get a nice little pull, make sure it's not coming out. At this point, you will want to bleed the system. You did just get air into it, and it won't be safe to ride until you do a full bleed. We'll put a link in the description where you can learn how to bleed these brakes. Once you're done, you do want to squeeze this a bunch of times and make sure you have a good seal. Clean any oil off and make sure no oil is leaking out of this, and then you should be good to go ride your bike.